Let's get straight to the big CNBC TV18 exclusive. Veteran banker KV Kamath is expecting a U-shaped economic recovery. He spoke to Network 18's editor-in-chief Rahul Joshi on the challenges facing the economy and the banking sector as well. He also broke his silence on the speculation of him joining the government. Kamath made it clear that he's absolutely not looking at any government role now. Here's an excerpt of that conversation.
The markets are also in the last few weeks, they are on fire. You know, we are talking about Nifty at 10,750. And, you know, if you look at the global picture, in the US in June, 4.8 million jobs had been added. In the Europe, the picture is also looking up. In India, GST collections are up. So would you say that there would be a V-shaped recovery of sorts?
I think let me just preface that by saying in India also, the job situation has improved because the factories are open. And I saw CMI numbers the other day that almost all the jobs we lost in the last April-May or April period were recovered in the May-June period.
Yes.
So I think once we look at more hard data, I think we can take a call on that part, the jobs part of it. But on the recovery front, my initial thoughts were that this is going to be a U with a very long base. And that would not have been very good for the country. As of today, having said what I said and observing what I am, what I've observed, I think it'll be a U, but with a very short base, not a very long base. And thereafter, as you go to the other side of the U, probably the U will be not a 90-degree U, but it will be almost like a V, accelerating faster. But we will know this for sure once a few more industries talk about what is happening in their own sphere. I would be delighted if it turns out to be a shallow V, but as of now, to me, it looks like it will be a shallow U, not a long drawn-out U. And maybe next month, I could be pleasantly surprised if it ends up being some sort of a V. But as of now, a little bit of pain, and then we should be out of it.
Let me turn to the banking sector. Clearly the banking sector was struggling under the burden of bad loans even before COVID. Do you feel that after this, that could exacerbate, that problem could become worse? Does it worry you at all?
Yeah, if I look at pre-COVID, I will only amend what you said very slightly. I think the banking sector was, having a problem, which was serious. But I think the banking sector, with all the efforts, the government, the capital that was injected and so on, was coming out of the problem. It needed a little more handholding, but it was coming out of the challenges. Clearly, the answer to your question is yes, there will be a challenge. And the sectors where we will have a challenge are also known. So what is the key response? The key response, I think, are on 3 levels. I learned this lesson very long back in my previous stint as a development banker, not the current stint, that only way a bank can survive is by growing. You do not allow a bank to grow, the bank is going to, the problem of NPAs is going to be unmanageable. So you will have to grow your way apart from, corrections in terms of provisioning and capital injection and so on. The bank will have to grow its way out of NPAs. The second is, I think at this point in time, low interest rates. Low interest rates are going to be critical for survival of banks. And I'll explain why. Take a very simple scenario. If interest rates are 12%, your NPA doubles in 6 years. It doubles in 6 years, and there is no chance at all of that institution surviving if an NPA is going to double in 6 years without massive capital injection. And that capital doesn't probably exist today. So you need to get down interest rates so that you buy time for the banks to heal on their own. So you turn the thing around. The bank lends at 6%. You have 12 years for the NPA to double. And clearly, you will have at least 1, if not 2, economic cycles in that period, which will, raise all boats, and the banks will be able to come back to health. Yes, capital injection will be required, but the order of capital injection will be significantly lower than what it is if you run a high interest rate regime. So I think banks will need to look at how they work with the government, with the regulator, to ensure that a low interest rate climate endures. The third point is, I think some steps were taken. A moratorium was announced by the Reserve Bank. Very welcome. I think there was also an extension of moratorium. Very welcome. And I'm more heartened when I see bankers come out and say, or some NBFCs come out and say that X% of my customers took the moratorium. That was 2 months back, but today, many of them have said that we will pay in time. Extremely good news. So I would think that, I hope that continues. But having said that, if there are sectors, if there are who genuinely have a problem, I would think that it is right time that policymakers could consider, again, no prescriptions, could consider a moratoria of a longer nature, maybe a one-time one. I heard other banking leaders talk about it, and I have I would stand with them to say that that's probably the need of the day, and probably the lowest cost way in which you will put the banking system back on its feet.
You've been, you've not been in India for the last 5 years, but you've been ever so often in the news, especially amongst us journalists, about a possibility of taking up a big assignment with the Indian government. Any feelers?
Absolutely no. My own view is that, twice earlier I said that I need time. I'm getting on, as it were, and I need time to be with family. I need time to be with my grandkids. And every time I say this and a few years pass, they get bigger, they get older.
The last time you said this, you were packed up for 5 years to Shanghai.
Yes, so I'm saying that again, and I told my friends who were talking about now what, I said as of yesterday evening, let me put up my feet and relax.
And you can catch that full interview with KV Kamath at 9 p.m. tonight. Let's move on now, get you all the day's market action now. Yes, Indian equities ended higher after a volatile trading session. Both the Nifty and the Sensex extended gains for the fifth straight session. The Nifty scaled 10,800, while the Sensex ended nearly 36,700. In the broader market, financials outperformed as the Nifty Bank gained 429 points, led by ICICI Bank. The mid-cap index was in line with the benchmark indices as well. On to the latest coronavirus updates now. India's total COVID count has crossed 7.2 lakh cases with more than 20,000 deaths so far. Over 22,200 fresh cases were reported in the last 24 hours. However, the recovery rate has risen to 61.1%, the highest improvement in recovery so far. Over 15,500 people recovered from COVID in the last 24 hours. Among states and union territories, Delhi's COVID tally has crossed the 1 lakh mark, but the national capital is also seeing the highest recovery rate of 71% among metros. Shifting focus to the controversy regarding the efficacy of ventilators made in India by Agwa Healthcare and Scanray Technologies. Speaking to CNBC TV18, both the manufacturers have defended their products and have said that these ventilators are fit for ICU use. They also say that their products have undergone several changes since the first time they received orders from the government after the COVID-19 breakout in India. They also told us that they are working with hospitals and doctors to address their concerns. Let's listen in.
But doctors themselves in March and April were not aware of the modes that was used elsewhere in the world. China had lots of cases, but no information from China was coming to the rest of the world on treating COVID patients. Once people started submitting samples, by then there was some experience. Doctors from All India Institute of Medical Science, from the Command Hospital, I think Safdarjung Hospital, Narayana Hridayalaya, Medanta, Apollo, they all came together and then they put all the thoughts together and added some modes.
Very specifically mentioned that the ventilators do not have any kind of intrinsic problem. And just to put it on the record, I personally went to that hospital on the 30th of June last week, and we ventilated 2 patients, one on NIV in St. George's Hospital, which was absolutely comfortable for a long duration of time. He was ventilated, and the other patient which was ventilated was intubated patient, again a COVID patient, and again a successful demonstration has already been done, and with the proof, everything is available with us as well. So the ventilator do not have any problem.
All right, on that note, we take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Lots more coming up on CNBC TV 18.